Danny Segura for MMAfighting.com. I'm here with Paul Daly, who will be fighting MVP at Bellator 216 in the main event. Paul, first of all, a lot of people were thinking at some point that this fight was never going to happen. Here we are. How are your feelings just a few days removed?
Yeah, I'm excited. I always knew the fight was going to happen. It was just a matter of timing and me working a few things out. I'm excited. February 16th, it all goes down.
Did it bother you that he kept saying you just kept not wanting to fight him and all that? Because from our perspective, it looks like you wanted to fight, but you also wanted to get some things worked out on the contract side of things.
Basically, that's what it was. It was just a matter of timing. I'd never said I wouldn't fight him. I just said, the moment has to be right. I had things that I wanted to do that I've gone out and done, and I've put things in place. Now the timing's right. It just so happens that Scott managed to package it in this welterweight tournament, which makes it even better. And I'm excited. I was always going to fight.
Do you think this is the biggest fight in the welterweight tournament?
Most definitely. I think if this fight didn't happen in the welterweight tournament, it maybe wouldn't have had the interest that it's had. Maybe the tournament should have started with this fight, But again, I'm just happy to be fighting.
This whole situation, the whole beef between you guys, stemmed from a comment that you said that, you were Floyd Mayweather and he was Adrian Broner. But from what I've seen in interviews, you didn't really mean much with that comment. Did you ever think it was going to turn out into something like this?
No, basically, assessing everything, I just feel like there must have been some kind of underlying issue for him to take the comments the way that he did. I genuinely meant that in a non, I didn't want to put anybody down. I just meant, look, I've been in the game 10 years before you even started. You know what I mean? And it was just the quickest thing that came to mind. The fact that he took it so personally and it's fueled him so much tells me a lot.
You're saying there might be something underlying, past that comment. What do you think it is?
I don't know. Maybe Bellator was pretty much his before I returned to the promotion, and here's a veteran like myself coming back, getting a lot of attention, winning, stopping people, and maybe he thought I was taking a shine. Maybe, I don't know.
I believe he's only 13-0 in his career. Do you think you're the best striker he's ever fought?
Most definitely. I think I'm the best fighter, not even striker. I think I'm the best all-round fighter that he's ever fought, and it's gonna be very interesting come Saturday night.
And I'm just curious, from I guess a styles point of view, he's very flashy. He does a lot of things that other people don't do. Do you think that's effective? Is part of a show? Where do you stand on his moves and I guess his antics?
Yeah, it's been tremendously effective for him so far. He's built his name up. He's very good on social media. The victories that he's had over the opponents that have been nice. One or two flashy finishes. But I don't buy into that. Those guys have bought into that. I don't buy into it. I've stripped him down and I've just accepted him for what he is, and he's just another fighter.
Any flaws that you see in his game that you think you might be able to exploit?
I see a few flaws, and on Saturday night I hope to take advantage of those and get him out of there, get the fight done and dusted.
Along this welterweight Grand Prix, John Fitch will be fighting Rory MacDonald. You fought both guys. I'm just curious what you think of the matchup and any prediction on that fight.
I think Rory will win comfortably, and I think Rory will be in the final. Rory is a tremendous fighter, one of the pound-for-pound best fighters, in my opinion. I've been in there with him. I've had that experience. I've also been in there with Douglas Lima, so for me to pick Rory, given the tough war that they had together, it just shows how much admiration I have, and I felt his ability. He's good.
And this fight will kick off the Sky Sports deal, if I'm not mistaken. Can you just explain, mostly to the American audience, what Sky Sports is over there, and I guess the importance of it and the size of it?
Basically, Sky Sports is where you go to watch all your sports. It's the biggest platform for all sports entertainment, whether it be Premiership football, boxing. Even the NFL's on there now, everything. So for Bellator to be on Sky Sports is huge, really big.
So you didn't get the fight in the UK, which everybody wanted, but you are on Sky Sports. So is that a bit of a nice trade-off?
Yeah, definitely. I think that the exposure that this fight will get will have more of an effect than having 15,000 people live there in the audience and no TV deal. So I think it's big.
And just watching the press conference, over at the UK, it seemed you guys were going back and forth, but it wasn't a back and forth about you guys. It was about the trash talk. It seems like you're kind of past it. You're like, hey, man, we're fighting. Here we are. Like, are you kind of sick of it at this point?
I am, and I'm just ready to fight. I think he's got to keep playing the role because he's set out that way now, and he's probably sick of it too. But he started down a path, and now he's got to finish it. I'm just looking forward to February 16th and actually getting the fight done.
And he's been sending you memes. He's been active from all fronts. Do you think he's perhaps a bit too distracted on that and maybe not taking you seriously as an opponent?
I probably think somebody else handles that for him, but I definitely think he's occupied a lot with me, which I don't know why, but maybe that's not going to work out well for him. And I just feel like he should be focusing on what he's going to do in the cage rather than what he's doing out the cage.
So you don't think it's him behind the social media?
He's probably got an influence, but he is savvy on social media, and I think he's probably got a team behind him that putting the posts out at the right time and getting his followers up.
Recently, we saw the UFC do a trade with ONE FC. I know you've expressed interest in perhaps rematching Nick Diaz one day down the line. Is that something you would like to see, Bellator try to go out there and get Mr. Diaz?
I would love to be the fight that pulls Nick back away from self-ruin, because he seems to be having a good time partying, and he's a cool guy. I've seen him since the fight, and I like Nick, and I think it's a fight that, even though I lost the fight, it's a fight that people have always wanted to see again, because it was just crazy, and it was just a crazy ass fight round even. So it would be a great fight, and I think it would do well as a pay-per-view or a crossover fight.
When's the last time you talked to him?
Yeah, it's been a minute. I think I've probably seen Nate last, and seen Nate in San Jose, and we had a little talk about where the after party was at. But I stayed away from that. Those Diaz boys are a little bit too wild for me, so I went the other way.
And do you think he fights again? Because it seems he just, as you said, he just wants to party, doesn't want to hurt nobody. I think that's something he said recently. Do you think he'll be back in the cage soon or not?
I think he's enjoying life. It doesn't look like he's training, but who knows? Everyone goes a little bit too much by the Instagram. Who knows when those pictures were taken? Who knows? There's no dates on anything, but I think he's enjoying life. If those pictures are up to date, he doesn't look like he's training. He's doing well. Enjoying what he's earned, so why wouldn't you?
Last thing for me, so MVP, he's a Man U fan. I'm just curious where you stand in the Premier League.
I'm a Man U supporter, but I'm not a fan because I don't go to the games and stuff. But if there's a match I'm going to watch and Man U's playing, I want Man U to win.
All right, Paul. Well, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck in your fight, man.